As a classic gamer, you probably know that there is an awesome collection of original Nintendo NES and Famicom games that is available at no extra charge for paid Nintendo Switch Online members. Boy, that's a mouthful. Once you download the games, you'll notice that they're not in alphabetical order. Hold down the Y button and you can fix that. You'll also notice some special icons on some of the games. Those entries give you extra health, weapons, or take you to the end of the game like here in Super Mario Bros. 3. But fortunately, the unmodified games are here too. Now, while this collection is great and free, there's still quite a few games missing that I wish were here. I mean, there's no Castlevania, no Contra, no Life Force, no Mega Man 2, or any of the Ninja Turtles games. Come on, man, what gives? But still, who can argue with free? So let's do a quick rundown of all these games. There might even be some that you've never heard of. So let's start off with The Adventures of Lolo, an action puzzle game where you collect the hearts to open the door. It's got some nice graphics and music. Balloon Fight. This is a Joust derivative, but with a lot more variety to keep it fresh. Baseball. A simple baseball game that's a little slow. Remember when this was the pinnacle of baseball games? Me neither. Blaster Master. Classic action game where you drive a tank-like vehicle. It's long and challenging, much like, well, never mind. City Connection, an arcade game where you drive a car over platforms. It's kind of like Miner 2049er. Clu Land. The controls are confusing in this arcade-style game, but this is by far the best game ever made with a balloonfish as the main character. Cobra Triangle. Awesome isometric boat racing and action game. A lot of different missions keep this one interesting. Crystalis. I don't normally like RPGs, but this one was fast and fun. Why can't all RPGs be fast like this one? Davia Story 6 Imperial of Nirsartia. This one's from Japan if you can't guess. It's a Famicom game that has a robot on the title screen, but I couldn't figure out what else to do with it. Devil World. This game is literally hell. Grab the crosses to eat the dots and attack demons, all while the maze tries to crush you. Dig Dug 2. Pump up enemies to explode them or destroy the ground to make them fall off. Nothing like destroying an entire island just to crush a few enemies, huh? Donkey Kong, the classic arcade game, but with only 3 screens. Why didn't they use the original edition of ROM instead? Ugh. Donkey Kong Jr. Save your papa from the evil Mario. This has all 4 screens. Congratulations, Nintendo, you did it. Donkey Kong 3. Spray Donkey Kong to the top of the screen in this classic arcade shooter. You know, I've always kind of felt bad for where Donkey Kong gets sprayed. Ouch. Donkey Kong Jr. Math. Okay, I demand to know who wanted to include this game. Come on, no one needs to do math at home. Double Dragon. A fast and fun, however limited, version of the arcade game. Suck it, haters, I like this game. Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. An even better beat 'em up than the original game, but this one is impossible to beat. And don't lie and tell me you beat it, because I know you didn't. Downtown Nekketsu March Super Awesome Field Day. A wacky Kunio-kun foot racing game. The controls take a little getting used to, but otherwise very enjoyable. Who comes up with this stuff anyway? Dr. Mario. Drop pills to squash viruses in this classic puzzle game. Honestly, you know, Mario has enough jobs. I just don't trust him to be my doctor. EarthBound Beginnings. Never released in America, this was called Mother in Japan. It's a fun but very odd RPG style game. Eliminator Boat Duel, a boat racing game with an overhead and behind the boat perspectives to keep you engaged. Kinda disappointed that ZZ Top isn't mentioned. Yeah, I know, it's a bad joke. Excitebike, the classic motocross racing game. Also included is Versus Excitebike for multiplayer action. Fire and Ice. Play as the world's most inefficient firefighter in this action puzzle game. Push the ice blocks into the fires. Ghosts and Goblins, a side-scrolling horror action game. Kinda. That's what you get for hanging out in the cemetery with your girlfriend, Arthur. Golf. This is kind of a basic golf game, but it's pretty fun. I've always wondered something. Is that Mario's dad? Gradius, a side-scrolling shooter with a unique power-up system. Sure would be better if there was a flamethrower, though. Ice Climber. Climb to the top of the mountain by smashing blocks. The jumping is annoying, though. Get this guy a trampoline. Ice Hockey. A fun and fast version of hockey. It just needs more fighting. I mean, you can never have enough fighting in a hockey game. Journey to Silius, an awesome action game similar to Contra. From what I understand, this was originally a Terminator game, but Sunsoft didn't get the license for it. Oh well. Joy Mech Fight. This is a weird one-on-one fighting game with disconnected robots. I can actually see this happening for real in a couple of years. Kid Icarus. Play as, thought his name was Icarus, in this action game. This one's a little bit different because the screen scrolls upwards instead of to the left and right. That's innovation for you. Kirby's Adventure, a fantastic NES debut of Kirby by HAL Labs. A very addictive and easy game for kids. Perfect for me. Kung Fu Heroes, an action game where you punch and kick your enemies. The hit detection is awful though, and it really needed a groin kick. Mach Rider. This motorcycle racing game has you battling through an apocalyptic wasteland. Kinda dark by Nintendo standards. Mappy-Land, a sorta kinda sequel to the arcade game with different backgrounds. It's a little easier and cheesier than the arcade though. Mario Brothers, a great version of the arcade game where you clean the sewers for money. Finally, Mario does something constructive for a change. Metroid. Play as Samus on a quest to defeat Mother Brain in this sci-fi action game. Were you shocked to learn that Samus was a woman? I wasn't. I knew it all along. Mighty Bomb Jack. Destroy all the bombs and avoid the enemies. Not a bad time waster. Mystery Tower / Tower of Babel. This appears to be a puzzle game, but I can't even figure out the first stage. Next! NES Open Tournament Golf. A more fleshed out version of golf has multiple options and courses. I still overshoot the green though every time. Nightshade, Part 1, The Claws of Sutekh, whatever. An interesting comic book style graphic adventure game. Or is it a puzzle game? I don't know. It's pretty cool though. Ninja Gaiden, super challenging ninja action game. One of the best. Well, if you enjoy dying over and over. Ninja JaJaMaru-kun. Simple action game where you must defeat all the ninjas. It's kinda boring. Pinball, a basic pinball game from the original set of black box Nintendo games. It definitely won't help you play real pinball, that's for sure. Pro Wrestling. Choose from several wrestlers, each with different moves. Controls are easy to learn, and this is a blast to play. The green Amazon dude is my favorite. Punch-Out! Featuring Mr. Dream. Mike Tyson is out. Play as Littleback in this super fun boxing game. Timing is key, so beating it with emulation is even more impressive. RC Pro-Am. Race other remote control cars on tracks. You can collect power-ups to improve your car. And believe me, you need all the help you can get. River City Ransom, an extremely fun and lauded brawling game. Hey, any game that lets you eat pancakes and crush enemies with trash cans is A-okay in my book. Rygar. This is an expanded version of the arcade game with a much larger story. Graphics are a little glitchy though. S.C.A.T, Special Cybernetic Attack Team, an amazing action shooting game similar to Forgotten Worlds. It's tough, but a lot of fun. Just don't think about that name too much. Shadow of the Ninja. Whoa, this is a good one. Play as a ninja climbing and slashing your way through the stage. Hit detection can be a little off sometimes. Snake, Rattle, and Roll. Play as a snakehead licking things in this isometric game. That's kind of weird. I know a lot of folks like this one, but I couldn't get into it. It's just too weird. Soccer. A very basic soccer game. Definitely better than Pele's Soccer for Atari, though. Solar Jetman. Fly around blasting enemies in this Gravatar-style game. This one gets a lot of praise, but I just didn't care for it. Solomon's Key. Get the key and exit the stage in this action puzzle game. I would have loved this one if we were still in the 80s, but we're not. Star Soldier, a top-down spaceship shooter. Graphics and gameplay are kind of basic, much like this commentary. Star Tropics. Here's a beloved RPG in the style of Zelda where you explore an island. I'd rather just sit on the beach sipping margaritas with giant grains of salt, though. Super Dodgeball, a fantastic action game in the Kunio-kun series. Just clobber your opponents with the ball to win the tournament. Look how delirious these guys are. Super Mario Bros., the granddaddy of all side-scrollers. Stomp on enemies on a quest to save the princess from Bowser. My favorite part is when he falls into the lava. Take that! Super Mario Bros. 2. The American sequel to Super Mario Bros. Is quite a departure from the series. Really? That's the best you can do for commentary? So go ahead and shoot me, I really don't enjoy this game. Super Mario Bros. 3. Is this the best game on the Nintendo? It greatly expands on the original game with amazing graphics, tons of stages, and awesome gameplay. Have you beaten it? I bet you haven't. Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. The Japanese sequel to the original game is basically an extremely difficult expansion pack. I can barely get past stage 1. Tecmo Bowl. Okay, I finally tried this game and it turns out I loved it. Definitely the best football game on the Nintendo. Tennis. Here's a pretty basic tennis game. I remember playing this one at the skating rink and laughing when my opponent would charge the net. The Immortal, an action-adventure game with terrible controls and a character who is definitely not immortal. Great graphics though. The Legend of Zelda. I've always meant to play through this action RPG, but I just never got to it. Maybe I can now. Wait a second, what's that game? The Mysterious Murasame Castle. Play as a samurai, I think, in this, action RPG game. I don't know the goal of the game, but it's kind of fun. The Mystery of Atlantis. This one started out kind of good until I got to the second zone where I just got lost. But, you know, that's kind of common for me. Twin B, a top-down Q-'em-up. Not sure why this didn't make it to America. Maybe it was the floating knives. Urban Champion. This early beat-'em-up has you punching and kicking your opponent into the sewer. I like how they all act nice when the cops drive past. Vice, Project Doom. Here we have a mixed style action game. First, it's a top-down Spy Hunter style game, then it becomes a side-scrolling hack and slash game. This game is awesome, I love it. Volleyball. This one's kind of boring. Why isn't the court centered? You're triggering my OCD, Nintendo. Wario's Woods, an item drop puzzle game where you match colored objects. Controlling Toad instead of the objects is, weird. Wrecking Crew. Play as Mario smashing stuff in a building while avoiding enemies. It's a fun little action game that fulfills that desire to smash stuff. Xevious. This arcade shooter was the first one, that I know of, to allow shooting ground enemies. The NES version has some really plain graphics though. Even the 7800 could do better than this. Yoshi. Match items or capture them inside of Yoshi eggs in this puzzle game. Not exactly what one would think for a Yoshi game. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. A departure from the original's top-down view, this one is mostly a side-scroller. Oh, and it's actually named for the player's character, so you can't get confused this time. Alright, well there you go, all the games in the Nintendo Switch NES collection. This is a great way to get your kids to try some NES games. What do you think of this collection? Let me know down in the comments. Until then, I want to thank you for watching, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye everyone.